Welcome to Shall We Consider? Today we consider the military-industrial complex. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. The military-industrial complex, the MIC, a term introduced by President Dwight D. Eisenhower, refers to the coordinated relationships between nations' armed forces, weapons manufacturers, and political leaders. This network has significant influence on domestic and international policies. It's possible that the origins of the MIC can be traced back to the 19th century, when President Abraham Lincoln expressed concerns about the growing power of corporations during the Civil War. As technology and industrial production advanced in the 20th century, warfare became increasingly complex, and these relationships intensified. World War I transformed the management of warfare, with private enterprises assuming control of the war economy through the War Industries Board. This board, largely composed of corporate executives and financiers, established a precedent for collaboration between the government and the defense sector. The War Department and major corporations further solidified their ties during the interwar period. In World War II, the War Production Board implemented policies favoring large industrialists, which fortified their influence on military purchasing and strategic planning. In the aftermath of World War II, Europe and Asia, as allies of the United States, faced a shortage of U.S. dollars, hindering their ability to purchase American goods. This posed a challenge to everyone involved. A strategy of permanent war economy emerged. This involved substantial military expenditures, effectively injecting dollars back into the global economy, enabling other nations to purchase American products. The 1950 National Security Council Report 68 played a pivotal role in this strategy. It depicted the Soviet Union as an alarming threat, requiring a significant military buildup. The Cold War era saw a remarkable surge in military spending driven by the ideological clash between the capitalist West and the communist East. This fueled a global arms race with both superpowers vying for technological and military supremacy. The MIC thrived in this environment as defense contractors secured lucrative government contracts to develop and produce increasingly sophisticated weapons systems. The Cold War fueled sustained high military spending driven by the arms race with the Soviet Union and proxy conflicts like Korea and Vietnam. The fall of the Berlin Wall and the subsequent dissolution of the Soviet Union signaled a significant shift in the global geopolitical landscape. Despite predictions of a peace dividend and reduced military expenditure, the military-industrial complex demonstrated remarkable adaptability. It redirected its focus towards emerging threats such as regional conflicts, terrorism, and the development of weapons of mass destruction. The rise of non-state actors employing terrorism and unconventional warfare further fueled the demand for advanced military technology and intelligence capabilities. Moreover, the emergence of China as a global power and renewed tensions with Russia have contributed to sustained high levels of military spending, with a focus on greater power competition and high-tech innovations. Although the Cold War ended in 1991, bringing substantial changes to the global ecosystem, the MIC has not only endured, but has also undergone a significant evolution. While many anticipated a decrease in military spending, the complex has persisted and adapted to the changing multinational environment. The defense industry remains a significant economic sector, providing jobs and generating revenue for companies and communities. This creates a strong economic incentive to maintain a robust military apparatus. The rapid pace of technological innovation in the defense sector has led to the development of increasingly sophisticated and expensive weapons systems. This creates a constant demand for the new military equipment. The vast network of government agencies, defense contractors, and research institutions that make up the MIC has a vested interest in its own perpetuation. This makes it difficult to significantly reduce military spending or reorganize national security priorities. The arms trade has become increasingly globalized, with companies operating across borders and forming international partnerships. This has led to a diffusion of military technology and expertise. Defense contractors have diversified their business activities, expanding into non-military sectors such as cybersecurity, space exploration, and infrastructure development. There has been a growing trend toward the privatization of military functions, with corporate contractors playing an increasingly important role in conflicts and security operations. The rise of information technology, IT, has led to a new dimension of warfare, with cyber attacks and disinformation campaigns becoming increasingly common. This has created new opportunities for defense contractors. Corporations now handle essential base operations like facility management, fire services, and maintenance. Intelligence work, heavily dependent on information technology, is now largely outsourced to corporations like Booz Allen Hamilton and General Dynamics, providing personnel and services for military and civilian intelligence agencies. They supply equipment for special operations forces, including weapons, body armor, and surveillance technology. Information technology companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Oracle sell software, hardware, and cloud computing services to the military. The push for integrated systems and artificial intelligence is driving demand for IT services. Corporations are involved in the Pentagon with companies like Concurrent Technologies and Strategic Analysis Incorporated, managing and consulting on various aspects of military operations and policies. The environmental damage caused by military activities has created another avenue for corporate involvement. Companies are contracted to assess pollution, develop cleanup plans, and manage waste disposal at military sites. Today, the MIC's influence extends far beyond the defense industry. It encompasses a vast network of actors, including defense contractors, research institutions, think tanks, lobbyists, and government agencies. This network exerts considerable influence on policymaking, shaping public discourse, and driving technological innovation. Ray McGovern, former CIA intelligence officer and peace advocate, broadened the term MIC to include MICIMATT, MICIMATT, which stands for the Military Industrial Congressional Intelligence Media Academia Think Tank Complex. It reflects the broader and more elaborate network of influences that shape U.S. policy today. McGovern argues that the original concept has evolved and expanded, incorporating additional sectors that collectively reinforce and perpetuate U.S. militarism and interventionist policies. The military, U.S. government, and the defense contractors have a symbiotic relationship. Contractors often engage in lobbying efforts to influence military spending and procurement decisions. This can involve campaign contributions, hiring former government and military officials as lobbyists, and building relationships with key decision-makers. The movement of these personnel, the revolving door, creates close ties and potential conflicts of interest. Former military top brass often take jobs with defense contractors, leveraging their experience and connections. For example, Boeing recruited the former Chief of Naval Operations Admiral John Richardson following his retirement from government service. The admiral joined the company's board of directors within 2 months of his retirement ceremony. Boeing was the Pentagon's 6th largest contractor in fiscal year 2022, with total prime contracts awards amounting to $14.8 billion. Another prominent example of a 4-star officer going to work for a top contractor is retired Marine Corps General Joseph Dunford, who served as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff before he retired in September 2019. 5 months later, Dunford joined the board of directors of Lockheed Martin. Before becoming vice president under George W. Bush, Dick Cheney was the CEO of Halliburton, a major defense contractor. During his time in office, Halliburton received lucrative contracts related to the Iraq War. Robert Gates served as Secretary of Defense under Bush and Obama. Before his government service, he was on the board of directors of several defense companies, including Fidelity Investments, with significant defense holdings, and Science Applications International Corporation, SAIC. This exemplified the back and forth flow between industry and government roles. The United States Congress plays a crucial role in the modern MIC, or Mickey Mat, primarily through its power of the purse and oversight responsibilities. Congress has significant influence through its budgetary power, oversight responsibilities, and legislative actions. It determines the annual budget for the Department of Defense, including funding for weapons systems, personnel, and research. Congressional committees hold hearings to scrutinize defense programs and policies. Congress can launch investigations into alleged waste or abuse within the military-industrial complex and pass annual defense authorization bills that set policy priorities and authorize weapons programs. However, the relationship between Congress and the MIC is complicated, with concerns about the influence of defense industry lobbying on congressional decisions. Although the defense budget's percentage of national GDP has decreased, the overall budget has ballooned to almost $900 billion. For the fiscal year 2024, the enacted budget was $886 billion, a 3% increase from the fiscal year 2023. This budget covers areas like operation and maintenance, procurement, research and development, military personnel, and construction. For the fiscal year 2025, the proposed budget is $842 billion, a decrease from the fiscal year 2024. This budget prioritizes countering China, nuclear modernization, and advanced technologies. Intelligence agencies such as the CIA and NSA have grown in power and influence, often driving foreign policy decisions based on their assessments and covert operations. These agencies play a critical role in shaping public and governmental perceptions of security threats. Intelligence agencies identify potential threats and adversaries, which justifies military spending and influences the prioritization of technologies and funding allocation. They also gather information on enemies' capabilities and intentions, which shape the requirements for new weapon systems and military technologies. They invest in research and development, leading to technological advancements that can be adopted by the defense industry. They can also focus on dual-use technologies with applications in both the military and civilian sectors, fostering collaboration between the intelligence community and the military-industrial complex. They often operate in secrecy and handle classified information, creating a lack of transparency and accountability in certain aspects, especially concerning sensitive technologies. Some agencies also have black budgets that are not subject to public scrutiny. Corporate-owned media outlets are pivotal in shaping public opinion and policy debates. Through selective coverage and framing of issues, the media can generate public support for military actions and government policies aligned with the interests of the MIC. The media serves as a vital platform for public discourse, enabling diverse perspectives on military matters to be aired. This facilitates a more informed citizenry and allows for greater accountability. However, access to this platform is not always equitable. Powerful lobbies and figures often have greater resources and opportunities to shape the narrative, potentially marginalizing dissenting voices or alternative viewpoints. The practice of embedding journalists within military units while providing first-hand accounts also raises concerns about objectivity and potential bias. Reporters relying on military sources for information and operating within the constraints of military control may inadvertently present a sanitized or incomplete picture of events. This can lead to a lack of scrutiny of military actions and their consequences. The media's role in the MIC extends beyond the informational and political realms. Defense contractors are significant advertisers, particularly for news outlets with a focus on military affairs. This financial relationship can create a conflict of interest, potentially influencing editorial decisions and coverage of the defense industry. In addition, the increasing integration of military themes and technologies into the entertainment media through partnerships and product placement further blurs the lines between the MIC and the media industry, generating revenue streams and normalizing military imagery and popular culture. Universities and academic researchers contribute to the policymaking process by providing research and analysis. However, funding from defense-related sources can lead to academic outputs that support military and intelligence objectives, further entrenching these interests. They are deeply embedded in the fabric of the military-industrial complex, forming a symbiotic relationship that fuels technological advancement, shapes strategic thinking, and raises profound ethical questions. Their involvement extends far beyond simply receiving funding for research. It incorporates a complex interplay of knowledge creation, talent cultivation, and ideological influence. Think tanks, often funded by corporate and government interests, provide policy recommendations and analysis to align with the goals of the military-industrial complex. These organizations influence policy debates, decision-making processes, ensuring that military and interventionist strategies remain central. Think tanks conduct research and analysis on defense and security issues, shaping public discourse and policy discussions. They often justify specific military programs or interventions. They advise government officials, testify before Congress, and also participate in a revolving door between think tanks and government positions. They organize events that bring together various stakeholders in the MIC, fostering networking and consensus building. They engage with the media and conduct public outreach to influence public views on defense issues. Examples of the military-industrial complex think tanks include the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, a highly influential think tank with a strong focus on international security and defense policy. CSIS receives significant funding from defense contractors like Northrop Grumman, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and General Dynamics. They often advocate for increased military spending and a robust U.S. military presence around the world. Kathleen Hicks, current Deputy Secretary of Defense, previously held a senior position at CSIS. Many of their experts regularly consult with government agencies and defense companies. The Atlantic Council, a well-connected think tank with a focus on transatlantic security issues and a strong pro-NATO stance. They receive funding from numerous defense companies and often promote policies that align with the interests of the defense industry. The Center for a New American Security, CNAS, a relatively new but influential think tank known for its focus on emerging national security challenges and its close ties to the Democratic Party. The CNAS receives funding from defense contractors and often advocates for a more assertive U.S. foreign policy and increased investment in advanced military technologies. This think tank has seen a significant flow of personnel to and from the government. Michelle Flournoy, CNAS co-founder, was considered a top contender for Secretary of Defense in the Biden administration. She previously served in the Obama administration and has close ties to the defense industry. Numerous CNAS staff joined the Biden administration in various roles, raising questions about potential influence on policy decisions. The RAND Corporation, a long-established think tank with a strong focus on defense analysis and policy research. RAND conducts extensive research for the Pentagon and other government agencies, often providing the intellectual framework for military strategies and weapons programs. The Hudson Institute, a conservative-leaning think tank that advocates for a strong national defense and a more assertive U.S. foreign policy. They receive funding from defense contractors and often promote policies that favor the interests of the military-industrial complex. The military-industrial complex, the MIC, is a powerful network linking the military, arms makers, and politicians. Fueled by technology, economics, and perceived threats, it has adapted to new challenges like terrorism. Its influence, now reaching policy and public opinion, raises concerns about conflicts of interest and over-prioritizing military solutions. Oversight and media scrutiny are crucial to balance its power. The MIC remains a complicated force shaping national security and global politics.